Yeah.
Hey, so Rob, I just took a call, and the small business has a website. They have a web designer, and the website looks really nice, but they say they're not converting. And I talked to them about being more, especially with the voice search stuff, they're not finding them. And the whole point of that is that we're providing organic ability for them to be found using voice search and for online searches, but they also have to tie their website into it. Can you talk a little bit about that, and so I get a little more educated on that?
So the website piece counts for about 25% of your local SEO score and your local SEO piece. So it's one of those things to where 25% is what value I would give that. For it to be able to convert. So if you want to talk to me 3 years ago, I was thinking websites were going to die. We weren't going to really see much on websites, but we had a turn, and that turn is we had voice search coming in. Voice search networks are picking up what's called schema or schema. It depends on who you ask, or Shiba. I mean, I've heard it called all kinds of different
I've heard schema, I've heard Shima, so tomato a little bit.
Exactly. So, I mean, there's a lot of different things that gets picked up. So, voice search ready is going to be there. Our websites that we design that we include as an add-on to the platform is the platform is going to drive the traffic. It's going to either generate phone calls or it's going to generate website visits and then be able to take them through basically the sales process there of telling your story. But the big thing I would say about conversions inside of there is making sure you have the right content, making sure your content's not duplicated, that you haven't plagiarized anybody. Make sure it's ready for voice search, but you're also going to have to make sure that it's ready for SEO for AI. And that is an entire new piece that's coming out because you got to make sure that when an AI is going to talk about you, so if someone's going to write an article in your local area, you want to have that opportunity for it to know who you are so it can write about you. So then it possibly will end up and it'll actually build backlinks and all that different stuff.
Right.
But the website is extremely important when it comes to that.
What's really interesting is, that's what they were kind of asking, but it's really interesting. 4 years ago when we started this, websites didn't have quite the same. I mean, they were still important, but the weight was different. I think with the AI side of things and the way algorithms are working, it's become a significant piece again. And when I looked at the gentleman's site and I kind of looked at it, and I went, "You're using a lot of words over and over." They changed the words. I think you called it word stuffing, or content
keyword
stuffing. And then doesn't that penalize you when people are doing that kind of thing?
It can. An algorithm looks at it. So, and just to kind of give everybody a background, I've been analyzing search engines since 1995, breaking them down of how they think about things and how to talk to that search engine. And they've gotten smarter for those algorithms, which is how it looks at all the content on your website and makes a decision of what it should do with it. So what I've noticed happening is, especially with this AI stuff, those algorithms do not like keyword stuffing. They're looking for a natural language. There's a more scientific name for that, but basically for how you would talk to your customers. Like you and I are having this conversation, that's what it wants to see. It's looking for that natural language. You wouldn't say certain things that would be a keyword inside there. I don't have one on top of my head that would come to mind. No one's going to say that. No one's going to say roofer near me inside of their website to make it to where they would rank for that term. It's automatically going to do that. And inside of how I break down local SEO and traditional SEO is everything is done by checklists and everything is done by a point grade system. So every time that you do something that it might see as a little bit spamish, that's going to take points right off the top. And you want to be able to have as many points as you possibly can to give yourself that more opportunities to be able to show up organically when that search happens. Did that make sense, or did I go too technical?
No. You're fine with that, because what's the other thing that's happening is people remembering websites back in the day when you had meta words, and they still think that you can do it that way, and it's not that way. I mean, the way the search engines work now is so much, like you said, the natural language. It isn't a list of a whole bunch of things. You got to be careful not to do lists, because it doesn't like just lists either. No. So I mean, but I think the whole point of it is that natural language, and I think that but the weight of the website is becoming heavier again. I think in the world.
It is, and it's one of those things to where that's why we're going to bring it back. Our websites are going to be a little bit different than how anybody else is doing it. For one, you get a little bit of changes to it. Most changes are made same day that you put the request in if it's normal business hours and not a holiday. A lot of complaints I hear from a lot of business owners is they do a website. It takes forever for them to build it. It takes them forever to make a change. You've experienced that. You came on with me as a website client before you came on with me was anything else, and
Right.
before we even started this partnership. And you experienced some of those issues. So that was some of the big things we did. I failed at that in past agencies because we got so big we couldn't handle things and we couldn't do things right. That's why how we have things structured on this one is completely different. We're using proven playbooks for how those businesses have done. I personally worked on over 5,000 websites personally. So it's one of those things to where we're taking a playbook. We know it's going to work. We know it's going to convert. We know it's going to do all those things. And it's using the methodology to be able to get there. And being able to put voice search at the very top. So voice search SEO, local SEO, putting all that stuff at the very top. Now, I mean, we're just kind of hitting that iceberg to where we want to be able to drive those results. We want to be able to get those results and be able to get the most for that small business owner, that local business owner.
Right. No, and I agree with you 100% that there's a lot of people out there that are really creative and do stuff, but they don't put it all together. They don't make the entire package happen for everybody all the time.
No, and pretty websites don't necessarily always sell. You got to tell your story.
Right.
And
Exactly.
if you're looking to figure out how to tell your story, I do recommend Donald Miller. Donald Miller does a great job. A book called Story Brand. I would definitely take a look at that if you're ever looking at how to better tell your story and be able to break it down. I think you read that one, didn't you?
I have, and I'm also a fan of Joseph Campbell out there too. And the hero's journey, and then it's all kind of the same stuff. But
It
the thing
is.
is, you gotta talk about your business in your words and tell it the way you want because like I said, I used this once before as what happens in LA is going to be different the way you got to tell your story than if in Texas. We get talking
If you're
about,
down at the bayou, it's completely different too.
yeah, exactly. Everywhere's a little different. I mean, we love Chicago; it's even different again. So everybody has a different way of approaching because of because we're talking regional. We're not talking global, international. We're talking regional, and regional stories are more important, especially to the local customer.
Well, you got to remember, and I've seen this time and time again. Businesses go, "Wow, I'm getting all these likes on Facebook, and I'm getting all this traffic." And I break it down and I look at it, and I go, "They're not even in this country, or they're not even in your state." And
Right.
as a small business owner or a local business owner, you want to have people that are actually going to come to your place. I see that especially in the restaurant world all the time, and
Right.
it's one of those things to where how many people are going to drive from California to New York? None. Unless they're about ready to go travel over there. I mean, there's that case, but um, you don't want 90% of your likes to be in California when you're trying to be able to get them in Colorado to come into your place. It's just not going to work
Exactly.
out well for you.
Exactly. So, but
So,
yeah, thanks
yes,
for that.
I,
Thanks for that
I,
because that's a big point that a lot of small businesses miss because they have somebody that they know or they've really trusted over the years, and they'll just have to help guide them if they whatever to make sure that things are done well.
exactly. And so, I mean, the whole website piece, I think it's going to be an interesting one. If you watch this video and it's not out yet, make sure you hit support. We can get you all set up and inside of there as well. We're working on getting that released out in the next couple of weeks, so that'll be really fun.
Yes, it will be. I'm excited
So
about it.
looking forward to it. If you like seeing videos by Dean and I like this, make sure you like, subscribe, and make sure you check us out, simplybefound.com, when we make marketing simple for you.